Panda Consulting's ArcGIS workshop, and I'm Frank Conkling. In this workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the options for customizing the ArcGIS Pro interface on here. Before we get started, a couple things, just a little housekeeping. If you want to know who Panda Consulting is, go on out to our website, www.pandaconsulting.com, and go and explore a little bit on the homepage. If you want to know what upcoming workshops and events we have, go ahead and look at the events page. That will go and give you information you need to know. If you don't want to look at it in a calendar view, you can also go to our workshops page, and there's a workshops and events page, which lists it. And if you scroll down that list, you can actually get links to old recorded copies of our workshops. In addition, we also have a YouTube page. That YouTube page goes and includes all of our recordings in the last couple of years. Those that specifically are in ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS Parcel Fabric. So please go out there. It's a good place to go and sort of start looking at it if you're looking at training and trying to get acclimated to ArcGIS Pro and what is coming up and what's in place now, and really start making that transition over to this newer technology. So what we're going to, by the way, before we start, if you are here in the audience and watching this live, if you have any chat or if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat window. And we have Chris with Panda Consulting. He's actually moderating, and he will go and take any questions and forward them to me so that we can make sure that everything gets answered correctly as you want. So let's start with this. Let's start with really what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the 3 different areas in which you can go and customize the interface for yourself. By default, you get the ribbon interface, you get a quick access toolbar, and then there's other keyboard shortcuts. So let's look at where these things are. And so this is ArcGIS Pro. Right now I'm using 2.9.3. Doesn't make much difference. The interface has been really stable since the very beginning. And it does have a ribbon interface on here. And that ribbon interface has got some very interesting components about it. One, and I'm going to go and pull up a help file just so we can see what these things are. We have at the very top here what's called a quick access toolbar. This quick access toolbar has most commonly used commands, and that's one of the favorite places for going and customizing the interface is going and putting commands up there, especially if you're making the transition from ArcMap into ArcGIS Pro. It actually will allow you to go and make the interface look very similar to what you used to get in ArcMap. The second area that we want to talk about is the tabs themselves. And you'll see on here, each of these have different tabs on here. And then underneath the tabs, there's what's called groups. Groups go and organize the elements in here. Let's look at it here on the live thing. So each of these are tabs, and each of these tabs underneath them have specific groups in here. So this is the analysis tab and the geoprocessing group, the tools group, the portal group, the workflows group. And so what you're going to need to understand that terminology in order to be able to go in and customize it for yourself. So let's start with the simplest way that you can customize this. And this is the one thing that it really isn't part of what we're talking about, but one of the things that a lot of people comment to me about is that they're not comfortable with the fact that when you open up ArcGIS Pro, you are automatically editing. Some people don't need to edit. They just want to create maps. So the first thing I'm going to go and discuss is how do you go and set it up so you can start editing, stop editing from a button. And that's actually built in on one of the options. So we're going to go over to the project tab. And if we go to the project tab and scroll down, there is an options. And we'll click on options. It then will bring up a whole groups of different things that we can customize and different things we can set elements on. What I'm going to look at is for the editing group here. Under the editing application, I'm going to scroll down, and there is an area called session. And on edit session, I have the ability to go and enable and disable editing from the editing tab. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now, as soon as I've done that, when I go back to my ribbon and I look on my edit tab, I now have this button that basically enables and disables editing on here, whether or not it's toggled on, and it's got a blue on the light theme, and toggled off. May not seem like a big deal, but for a lot of people, that's one of the first small hurdles that you have to go and get over in order to be able to go in and make this exactly what you want. And again, we've got, here's your tabs across here. And here's your quick access toolbar here. And we'll talk about them separately. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how do you go and upgrade, or how do you customize the ribbon to put some of your own commands here. One of the complaints I hear a lot is that those of us that are doing editing a lot, we want to go and be able to go and have this topology component on other tabs. And especially those of us that are doing the parcel fabric, you might want to have topology over there. Now with 2.9, and I believe it was 2.8, they've moved the topology, or they've duplicated the topology and customized it. So on the overall quality tab for the parcel fabric, you have topology, but I want to go and show you how do you put that somewhere else. So the first thing we want to do is go to projects and then go to options. And this will bring, if we scroll down to the bottom, there is customize the ribbon. That customize the ribbon allows us to go and customize the ribbon to select both commands, both editing commands, normal type of commands inside of ArcGIS Pro, but we could also do geoprocessing and move geoprocessing over there. Well, the first thing we want to do is maybe go and find a command that we want to move over. So in this case, we can look at the popular commands, and it's just going to go and give us a list of the most popular commands out here. Or if we have a specific command, we can say for all commands, or we can look at the tabs and where those commands actually are. And you can see here how all of these are split up into these various tabs that you're going to be using. And this is as they appear on the interface. And you can see that on the edit command or edit tab, you have a clipboard group and a manage edits group, manage edits with edit sessions group, snapping entities and such. So this is a way to go and see where everything is located. Then there's popular geoprocessing, adding a field, and then there's also all geoprocessing tools on here. So let's go and decide what we're going to do. The first thing I want to do is I want to go and maybe I have start edit, I have save, I have discard on here. Maybe I want to go and put save project on here and put it somewhere where it's very accessible to me. So I'm going to go down here to options, go to customize, and I'm going to look and see, do I have a save edits command under my popular commands? And I have save edits, and this is save changes to the project. So this is the command that I want to go and put onto one of my tabs. I now need to find my tab that I'm going to put that on, and that's going to be the edit group, the edit tab on there. And in there, I have a manage edits group, and that's the one that has save and discard. On there, I can go and say, well, take my save changes and move it over. Look at this. It says you, in order to go, and the commands have to be added to custom groups. So you can click on the tab and then say create a new group. So let's go and click on the tab and then say create a new group on here. And let's rename that group. And let's call this custom group on here. All right. Before we go too far, I want to go and just accept that. All right. And then I want to go back to my edit tab and see where I have a custom group. And let me see, I don't see it yet, so I don't have any commands on there yet. Let's go back to here. Let's go, and our command that we're looking to move over is going to be our save project. Go to our edit tab and look at our custom group here. And now we're going to add that over here to that. Click OK. Let it go and put it on the interface and come back here. Now go and see where this is. Here. See where we've got this. It's interesting. I do not see that at all. Let's go back here. And one of the things I've found is that you want to check to make sure whether there's another group of these that appear on here. For example, all right, so let's go back up here and see if we were in the right tab for this. You see the complexity of this as we go through. Let's make sure this is the main tab. And here's the edit on here. We have clipboard, we have manage edits. And it has in here manage edits in here with edit session. Here's our custom group. Why is that on here? Can we create a new custom group here? And then let's add the save edits into there. See if that works any better. I rewrote this. I still don't see anything here. So what's the problem here?
Do you need to restart the application?
No, we shouldn't have to do that at all. So let's go in here and let's do it a little bit differently now. Let's go to our map. Let's look at this again just to make sure I don't see anything on the end of this either. Usually it would go here. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. So let me go to my popular, my main edit tab. And I have on here. Thank you, Matt. I thought I was in the right group. I guess I must be in the wrong edit group. Matt just went in and noted something in here. How far down is the other edit group? Go up to the top again. Georeferencing tab. There are 2 edit groups. Thank you. There's one here, and there's one here. Custom. I have one here that's in here. I also have this one here. With edit sessions turned on. So let's go and add a new one here and see if that's what's actually doing it. All right. And just to check and see, here it is. There's our new group here. Thank you. And now let's go back and move that over there. So our save changes. And in fact, there is 2 edit groups here. This is the one that we're going to rename here. Workshop group. And into that, we will add the save changes on here. There we go. Workshop group, save changes. So by the way, the reason why I do that is I want to let you know that sometimes it's, even though it's obvious when I'm doing something, I want to show you the little shortcuts or the little pitfalls that you can get into, because the interface itself is fairly complex. And you can see there's a lot of areas in which it may be obvious, it may work the way you thought, but there may be additional options that you may not be aware of. And I want to make sure that you understand that just because I can do it very quickly in a demo, I often will make sure that I make mistakes along the way so that you can see where the mistakes are being made and how they're occurring, and prevent you from making those same mistakes on there. So it's as simple as that. The most complex thing is finding where you want to go and put these commands. So again, let me go back here to options, go back to the customize. You want to find exactly where you're going to put, again, remember there are these 2 different edits, where you're going to put the commands that you want to get stored in there. Now, once you put them in there, for example, let's take the copy command and move that over also. Let's take the delete command and move that over also. Let me see what else. Let's go and say add data. Once you get them into that group, you then can go and determine what order they appear in that group. So I can go in and move it up, or I can move it down on here. Perhaps I want to put a paste in here also. Let's go and look at paste the option, add that, and then I'll put that right under copy, paste. Perhaps I want to put clear in here so I can clear out anything that I might have selected on here and tell it to also put that in there. So when I hit OK, it will then go and store that customization in here. And if I go back to my command on here, I now have add data, I have save, I hit copy, paste, clear, and delete for my interface. So with this, I could actually go and create a completely custom ribbon interface for me. Some of the other things that we can do on here, again, to go back to this same command, I can look at these, say, well, which ones do I never do? I have to confess, it's rare that I go and actually do any metadata. So I might turn off the metadata or the pixel editor or the tin. I don't use those at all. I don't do any stereo mapping in here. I might turn that off also. So I could go and look at what what I use on here. By the way, I'm going to turn off that second edit. I mean, what is that? Why is that entities on here? Let's leave that on. I don't do anything on the maritime. But let me go and show you now some of the other grouping in here. So one of the things you want to be aware of is that in the interface, when I go on here and I click on a layer, all right, when I click on a layer here, what I get is I get this feature layer. The feature layer actually allows me to go and set properties of that feature. For example, let me set the appearance. When does it display zooming in, zooming out, what transparency there might be, whether or not as part of a swipe command. It will allow me to set labeling options on here. Whether or not I'm labeling this and such, or it will let me go and actually interact with the data itself. Things like show me the attribute table on this, and it will pop up that attribute table for this. Or I could go and do some editing on the fields themselves and what those fields look like and how they're displayed, those sorts of things. Things like if I have number fields, I can tell it, for example, that this shape length, I really want to go and show it just in 2 decimal places. And then I want to show 1,000 separator padded with zeros, and maybe I'm using feet, so I want it to be in feet. That only appears, that feature layer tab only appears if I'm on a feature layer. If I select off of it, that disappears. So just be aware that, again, in the ribbon interface, it shows you the options for what you have selected at this moment. So if I click on a layer, I will then see a feature layer, and I'll see the things that I can do with that feature layer. If I click off of it, I will see, here's the options on here. So just be aware that this ribbon interface changes. So I'm not sure what the difference is between this edit command and the others that we saw. But so that's feature layer here. So if I look at the tabs here, I have one for, as I go down here and have these larger groups, one for the map, one for subgroup, a feature layer, and I can see the appearance and the label and the data on here. So you want to make sure that you understand when things will show and not show. For example, I also have on here, as I scroll down further, I can see if I'm doing CAD layers or buildings and point clouds and parcels. If I want to go and customize that specific tab that only appears when I have parcels in my table of contents, I need to scroll all the way down to there and then put it in that tab by doing things such as going and creating a new, in here, creating a new group, and then customizing that group on there. Not tough, it just is a lot of work. Once you get it stored, you then have the ability to go and say, okay, well, let's export out this customization. Now, the customization actually appears as a, well, let's do this. Let's export it out as a workshop customization. And we'll actually see what this appears. And this appears, go ahead and do this. Let's go to our actual workshop customization. It is a .pro exported UI file. I'm not actually sure what it looks like, but it is a file that you can then go and stores all that in. The nice thing about that is that you can go and take that file and share it with other people in your department, or even if you're a consultant or you work with other things, you can share it with other companies and let them go and utilize that same customization that you've put together for you. So let's go ahead and look at this a little bit more and recognize that that's the ribbon. And the ribbon is probably the most complex of the customizations. The easiest customization is a little bit further down. It's called the quick access toolbar. And remember, quick access toolbar is that toolbar that appears up at the very top of your screen. Let me show it to you here again. This is the quick access toolbar, and that appears at the very top of the screen. And from there, you can then go and add, again, commands for you to go and start. So for example, we can look and see, well, what about we can start edits? Maybe it's edit start. Here's all the edit commands. Enable editing. All right, so I can now go and add that enable editing over to this command here, and that will put that toggle not on the ribbon, but actually on the quick access toolbar. So if I look here, I have new, I have open, I have save, I had undo, redo, and now I have that. Well, what about, save edits? Let's go back to save here and see what I have. Save edits, see modifications. So this one here, let's go and add that to our toolbar. So we can go through here and just look at all of the commands that we're looking for, what we want to go and add. Add current data in here. Maybe that's something you want to use quite a bit. The copy, the paste command is always one that's important. And by the way, that paste is also the paste special on here. And again, we can just go and modify where these things go on this. We can click OK on here. And as we go back and notice, there is our quick access modifications that appear. Again, it's a little bit simpler than going and modifying the ribbon because you don't have tabs. You just have a list of commands on here. But it does allow you to go and do that. Some other things about this ribbon interface. Over here, I can actually go and tell it to minimize that ribbon interface so I don't see it all the time. So possibly I may want to go and work that way. It allows me to go in and minimize that, to have a much larger drawing area. There's another option in that with this quick access toolbar, I also have the ability to go and show it above the ribbon or below the ribbon. So that, again, if I'm doing this, I can begin to see how it starts to look a lot more like ArcMap used to look, with all of these commands on a toolbar, and they all have tooltips shown, helping us understand what we want to do. By the way, from this, if we click on this down arrow here, it has customize the ribbon. It will show us, again, the same option here. Let's go and talk about customizing and not just putting those tools up there, but actually going and putting maybe a geoprocessing tool on here. So I can look at popular geoprocessing tools. Maybe I'm dealing with this a lot on here. Let me see if I can find one that I use a lot. Well, one of the one I use, and I'll go and look at all geoprocessing tools, is we work a lot with file geodatabases. And the file geodatabase often will have to get compacted. So we'll go and we'll add that compact to here. When we click on this, we then see that our quick access toolbar now has the compact geoprocessing tool. So the customization of both the ribbon and the quick access toolbar allows you to go and put not just commands up there, but also geoprocessing. Let's see what else we can do. Let's go back here again, go to the quick access. One of the things is, well, maybe I want to go and add it so that I can change the base map that appears on underneath my map. So let's go in and move this up here. And let's put it here. Say OK. And now I can see that I have the base map chooser right there in my interface. The ArcGIS Pro interface is extremely customizable for you. There are certain things you can't do. For example, you only have the option of the quick access being above or below, but you can basically build your entire interface just from that, if you're most used to using icons for that. Let's look a little bit further at this then. By the way, I have here also minimize the ribbon, or to actually expose the whole ribbon on here. So let's look at another thing that we have. Is there, Matt's asking me, is there a way to add a custom SID as a base map? Not as part of this interface, but in fact, you can add a custom SID. It's my understanding you can add a custom SID depending upon whether you, within your organization. Let's rather than saying depending on, within your organization, you can add a custom SID as a base map that's available to you. But that's on the enterprise level, not necessarily on the customized here level. And it calls up the organization's base maps when you go and click on that add base map. It's actually calling up your enterprise organization, ArcGIS Online on-prem, and that's what it's using as your base maps. Or it's calling up the ArcGIS Online hosted, which is what I'm logged into right now. It's using that to go and feed all the information to the chooser on there. All right, so one of the things that I was looking at is, well, one of the more popular commands we have here, if I go and click on back on here, and I go to my save here, actually I have to do it here. When I go to save edits, let's look at, again, all commands. Let's look at our save and go down to save edits on here. All right, on save edits here, I have the ability to go and put a keyboard shortcut there. So that's the accelerator here, a Control S in here for my save edits, and then I can go and assign it. And it says it's being used for save. Do you want to override? I'm going to say yes, save it. The other thing I want to do is I want to say show this command ID on the tool, on the screen tips. Let's go ahead here. And now if I go and make some edits in here, let's start editing. Let's go and make an edit on here. Let's finish this command so that this invokes. And save edits is a Control S now on here. It shows what that command is doing. All right. So what we've shown so far is going and getting in and customizing the ribbon, creating our own ribbon group, and then adding the commands that we want for that ribbon group on here. We can actually go in here. I didn't demonstrate this, but I could actually go in to this and turn off ribbon groups. So if I go down to this here, say, well, maybe I don't want to show this elevation group at all on here. I guess I can't take that off. If I go here, my list of tabs, I guess I can't take that off either. I can turn off the overall tab, but not the tab groups in there. Can I delete this group? I can. I can remove the elevation group if I want. See if there's a corrections group. Let's remove that corrections group and see what happens. If I go in here, there's the elevation group. Let's go to this tab again. Here's my elevation group. Let's right click and say remove that. Go in here and that elevation group is good. So if I don't have data reviewer as far as my licensing, I can go in here and remove data reviewer from that group. Data reviewer, I can go remove that on here. So we've actually gone in and completely modified for one of our clients the entire ribbon interface, in which we've removed the commands for those people that didn't have to do certain things. For example, they were never going to go and do any georeferencing. They were never going to go in there and do any sharing. They basically were just editors. So we completely modified that interface so that they only saw the commands that they needed to go and have access to. I do want to go and sort of caution you on this, and we experienced this in that while we could set their initial commands, there were other commands that they still needed to get to every once in a while. So just be careful to recognize that sometimes these commands are not equally distributed, and sometimes they might be hidden and not necessarily obvious. So just be careful when you're doing that. If you wish to, or when you're ready, you can always go back and just say reset the entire interface to reset everything on the interface, and it will go and reset everything that's on this interface, including it reset the quick access toolbar, show it back up here, reset all of our groups in here, reset everything back to the default. Finally, the one thing that I do want to go and show you is that we can go in and we can import that customization that we had. And I'm going to not import this one that I wrote, but one that I use all the time, in which I've gone and customized my quick access toolbar so that these are the commands that I use when I'm going and interacting and editing and updating things, especially as it relates to the parcel fabric, which I work on quite a bit. Now, these commands are all in here. Notice, because I don't have editing turned on, none of these, most of these are inactive on here. Once I turn this on, they become active in here. One thing I do want to go and note for you is that depending upon how big of a screen you have, you want to just be aware that, and I'm going to go and make this screen smaller just so you can see it, that often these commands will overlap into the name, or, and I don't have a parcel fabric loaded here, but there's certain types of interfaces. For example, let's go and load up Let's go and open up another project file. And demonstrate this. So in the interface, one of the interesting things about it is that if I have a parcel fabric in here, all right, notice what happens. I have specific tabs that come up, and this is similar to if I'm on an individual feature layer. When I click on those tabs, it will cut up into this area that's occupied by the quick access toolbar, to the point where I'll often just move my quick access toolbar below the ribbon and not have to deal with that. But just be aware that some of those tabs, if they are sort of group tabs and they're specific to what you have selected in a table of contents, and this is feature layer, this is parcels, this is versioning, if you're doing any versioning on there, they go above the standard area. You may want to go and recognize that it will cut off the access and contents in your quick access toolbar. I can share with you that in version 3 coming out, that has been fixed, and this toolbar goes all the way across, and these actually are below that. So we don't have that problem in the other, when we have special tabs that go and pop up. So let's see what we've got here. I think I basically covered. Do we have any questions or anything on here?
We don't have any immediate questions in the chat.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to thank you all for coming. I apologize for some of those earlier rabbit holes that we went down, but I think those are important to go down and sort of demonstrate some of the issues we had. And I hope you enjoyed the workshop. Thank you.
Thanks for attending, and we hope you enjoyed this workshop. If you have questions, would like some more details about anything we discussed during this workshop, or if you or anyone at your organization would like information about training, support, or ways in which we can help you with your GIS needs, please contact me at frank@pandaconsulting.com or call me at 561-691-3277, and we can discuss how we can help you with your needs.